Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Astrocast 101. My name is Danilo and I will be taking you through the rest of this video. In this video we will learn more about Astrocast satellite constellation, what are satellite passes, data journey through the Astrocast network, and more about the latency. So, let's go! Let's start with Astrocast satellite constellation. At the time of making this video, in February 2023, the Astrocast constellation is made up of 14 satellites. 4 additional satellites will become available in the summer of 2023. All these satellites are low Earth orbit satellites, meaning they orbit the Earth at a low altitude of 500 to 550 kilometers. These satellites are 3U nanosatellites, coming in a very small dimension of 30 x 10 x 10 centimeters. These satellites travel from north to south in sun-synchronous orbits. But what are sun-synchronous orbits? Well, these are type of polar orbits, meaning the satellites travel over the polar region and are always synchronous with the sun. Or in simple words, the satellites orbiting in sun-synchronous orbit will always appear to follow the same path around the Earth, from the perspective of the sun. Now, let's talk about satellite passes. What are those? As the satellites are constantly moving around the globe, they are not always available over your location for your device to communicate. However, there are certain periods of time during the day when the satellite passes over your location and is in an optimal position to establish contact with your device. These windows of contact opportunities are called satellite passes. The other terms associated with the satellite passes are azimuth and elevation. When you locate a satellite, azimuth tells you what direction to face and elevation tells you how high you need to look in the sky. Both are measured in degrees. Azimuth varies from 0 degrees to 360 degrees. It starts with north at 0 degrees and progresses clockwise. So, if the azimuth for your satellite is, say, 45 degrees, that means your satellite is northeast of you. Now, on to elevation. A satellite just barely rising over your horizon would be at 0 degree elevation, and a satellite directly overhead would be at 90 degree elevation. A good satellite pass for an Astrocast device has typically an elevation between 40 degrees to 80 degrees and lasts for 1 to 2 minutes. A list of satellite passes for your specific location can be found in the dashboard of the Astrocast portal. Now that we are covered the basics, let's move to see how your data travels through the Astrocast network to arrive to your backend. As and when your device collects the data, it can store it in the message buffer of the Astronaut S. You can queue up to 8 messages, each of 160 bytes, plus optional 8 bytes that can be used for adding geolocation. The Astronaut S is capable of predicting the satellite passes and can be prepared for communication when the satellite passes over your location. So, when the Astronaut S sees the satellite, it transfers your message to the satellite. After receiving an acknowledgement from the satellite, the messages are cleared from the Astronaut S. This message stays within the satellite until the satellite sees the next ground station to download your data. Astrocast operates several ground stations around the globe to ensure optimal latencies for our users. Let's talk about latency. The end-to-end latency is composed of 2 parts. First, satellite revisit time, which is the time between 2 satellite contact opportunities. Second, satellite to cloud latency, which is time spent by the data in satellite. Now, onto the choosy question. What is the latency that you, as user, should expect? The short answer is, well, that depends. But the long answer is, there is no one single latency that applies to all devices across the globe, as it depends on many factors. First factor of influence would be your location, as the Earth is an ellipsoid and then the different satellite orbits cross over each other at the poles. The locations closer to the poles enjoy the maximum number of satellite visits. And in theory, the satellite revisit times are longer as you get closer to the equator. The other factors, like complete or partial sky view, noisy or remote environment that impacts the efficiency of data transfer can also affect latency. As a conclusion to this topic of latency, I would like to highlight that Astrocast is constantly working towards expanding its constellation. And as we have more and more satellites launched, the latency also gets reduced. As you know, everything has a start and an end. Sadly, we have reached the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed my company and especially that you have better clarity about the subject that we discussed. If you liked the video, please like and share it. If you have any question, feel free to comment them below or write to us at support@astrocast.com. Thank you for watching this video and see you in the next one. Ciao e a presto!